Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Katarzyna Kubas. I'm Head of Development, and on behalf of ITTF High Performance and Development Department, I would like to warmly welcome all of you on today's webinar. Our topic is Break the Bias, 2022 International Women's Day in Table Tennis. Similarly to last year's, we would like to commemorate this unique day, but before we start, I'm honored to extend our special welcome to our ITTF President, Ms. Petra Sorling. Ms. Petra, we would like to kindly ask you for opening remarks.
Thank you very much, dear Kasia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world, and happy Women's Day to all of you. During the years, we have been talking a lot, and we have had women's working groups, and we have been successful in terms of awareness. We also created some concrete results to be proud of, like equal prize money already in 2008 in ITTF events. Last year on this day, I was in one of the panels, and I spoke then about from awareness to change. That is also why I have my motto on this special day: only together we can make a difference, because we need to do this change together. It's not a gender fight, it's a journey together. Within our foundation yesterday was publishing an overlook of what we have done during the last year, and I'm extremely proud to see that through hard work, we really make a change. Let's celebrate this day together, and I'm very excited to looking on the agenda for today's webinar, because here we can see good practice from member association, because, ladies and gentlemen, it all starts on the national level. I promise that I will work extremely hard during my mandate to create an atmosphere and a culture where everybody can grow. Thank you for attending today and celebrate with us. And also, of course, thanks to HPD and foundation team for having us here. Thank you, and let's have a good webinar.
Thank you very much for your great support, Ms. President, and for sharing such a powerful and inspiring words to our table tennis family. Thank you very much. Moving on, I would like to welcome also our ITTF Gender Commissioner, Ms. Hajira Kaji. Ms. Gender Commissioner, we kindly ask you also for a few words from your end.
Thank you, Katarzyna. It's really an honor and privilege, and I am humbled to be here with all of you. So hello, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, especially to you, President Petra Sorling. It's always great to share a platform with you. As the President has said in her opening remarks, today, International Women's Day, is a global day. The world is celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. Significant activity is witnessed, like what we're having, and I think many other organizations is having workshops, celebrations around the world. As groups comes together to celebrate women's achievements or rally for women's equality. We talk about equality and equity all the time. The campaign theme for International Women's Day 2022, Break the Bias. Whether it is deliberate or unconscious, bias make it difficult for women to move ahead in their careers and even their personal lives. Only knowing that bias exists isn't enough. Rather, action is needed to level the playing field. Break the bias means ensuring everybody and everyone is taught about what both conscious and unconscious bias are. As some of the biggest issues are often assumptions that are made about women, their goals and their ambitions, especially when it comes to expectations around holding positions all positions. It's always, can she do it? And there's a conscious or unconscious bias that comes through. Despite the progressive stance on electing a women president, equal prize money, the impact yet to be fully manifested in the structures of the ITTF, with special focus on more women leaders, officials, both coaching, technical, athletes, etc. The list is long. This area, being historically male-dominated, has left women and girls to encounter various forms of discrimination. Bias is further defined as an inclination of temperament or outlook, especially personal and sometimes unreasonable judgment. Equal rights are not special rights. The day belongs to you, all the women here present. May you prosper and stood firm in the course of life. Happy International Women's Day to all of you, and let's break the bias. Thank you. Thank you, Katarzyna.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hajira. We have a powerful, we have a very inspiring and motivational opening, and we are looking forward for the further part of the webinar. So without further ado, I would like to pass to my colleague, Omar Rifat, Development Manager, who will co-moderate this webinar with me today, and will introduce you to our further plan for today's experience. So please enjoy the event and break the bias.
Thank you so much, Kasia. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's webinar celebrating International Women's Day. It's a great honor to have you all here with us today. We will speak about gender balance, and we will break the bias together. So I will walk you through today's agenda. Just 1 second, sorry for that. Okay, so we had today our opening remarks by our ITTF president and ITTF gender commissioner. We will speak about the webinar code, and then we will talk about the first part with us today, which is the roundtable part. We will introduce our roundtable guests, and then we will have our roundtable discussion with 4 of the experts in their respective fields. And then we will have a short question and answer after part 1. Next, we will speak about part 2, which is the Member Association National Project and Good Practices. We will also have after it a very short question and answer part from the audience and the participants of today's webinar. And at the end, we will have, of course, the closing of our webinar. Our webinar code, I would ask every and each one of the participants, please, if you have any questions, leave it in the question and answer section. Of course, our guests will try to answer as many as possible in the question and answer part of the webinar. I'm so glad, and it's my honor actually to introduce our guest today. We have, of course, our ITTF president, Ms. Petra Solning. We have our ITTF Gender Commissioner Chair, Ms. Hajira Kaji. And we will have in our next part, in our next section, in our roundtable discussion, 4 experts in their fields. Please, I'm so glad to welcome Konstantina Krotta, ITTF Para Table Tennis Commission Chair and Advanced International Referee. Mr. Zoran Pirmuraz, ITTF Athletes Commission Chair and Olympic and World Championship medalist. Mr. Alan Hopkins, URC Deputy Chair for Umpires and Blue Badge International Umpire. And Ms. Mona Lisa Parwa Mehta, Director of ELM Sports Foundation and of course, national coach and former athletes. So welcome everyone to our webinar. I would kindly ask you to open your cameras and join us, please. Hello everyone. Hello, Ms. Hart here.
Hello.
Hello everyone.
Oh, hi Zoran. Hi Alan, how are you?
Well, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us. So I will start our roundtable discussion with the first round question. So my first question will be for Tina. Considering your rich experience in both able-bodied table tennis and para-table tennis, where can we find better gender balance and why?
According to the numbers of the players in able-bodied table tennis and in para-table tennis, the percentage of female and male, I believe, is nearly the same. So in para-table tennis from this year, double events and mixed double events will be played in all the competitions, and double events and mixed double events will be included in the World Para Championship this year and in the Paralympics. And we believe this will be a great motivation for all the federations to find more female players. But I believe that we are facing the same problem, not only with the players, but also with the officials, coaches, and even with the members of the committees. And the truth is that we are few. But I believe also that the situation is starting to change. It's changing now. For example, ITTF has a new president and she's female. So I would like to encourage all the women to believe to themselves and to dare to make the next step, to ask for more and to go higher.
Thank you so much, Tina, for your kind words, and definitely having for the first time double and mixed double in para table tennis especially was a great addition, and we are really looking forward to have it in the upcoming World Championship and of course in Paris 2024. So thank you so much. I'll pass now to Kasia for the next question.
Thank you very much, and I will just take the opportunity to again welcome our dear panel, our dear panelists, experts in the field. And I would like to proceed with the second question, which will go to Zoran. Just recently in Houston, the ITTF Athletes Commission proposed to 2021 ITTF AGM that there should be two Athletes Commission members from the both gender. And it's a really significant step. So I would like to ask how else ITTF Athletes Commission supports gender balance among athletes and also otherwise.
Thank you very much. First, I will tell you hello with everyone with this sign, and also I wish happy Women's Day to all ladies here who are joining this panel and also all over the world. In the Athletes Commission, we are proud that we have almost half men and half women in our commission, and also me as a chair. We have two vice chairs; they are female. And as you mentioned before, we are so proud that from the next election we'll have two co-chairs, one man and one woman, which is, I think, we are trying to have a gender balance. We are really proud of that, and we are also very happy that we have for the first time in history the woman. She is the president of the ITTF, and we are really proud of that. Me as the Athletes Commission chair, I'm trying to to break the bias, to have the women as much as possible. And me, as I've experienced, that's often the females, they are much more efficient and better in the work and the job than we are. Like we said, we are so smart. And of course, it's in the future, of course, we are very proud that we have equal prize money with the women. We have also, like tennis, we are trying to break this bias, which are really all over the world. And in the future, I will be the one who will be always fight for that we are equal, and we are equal, and in the future the world has to be free of the bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. World that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive. World where difference is valued and not celebrated. That means together we can achieve that, and I will be always there to help you and be a part of that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hearing that from you. And also just to notice here, we have a perfect gender balanced panel. So that's also a good sign. Thank you so much, Zoran. The third question I would like to address to Mona Lisa. So you have been involved in different capacities in table tennis. As a national player, national coach, women on the leadership position, admin as well. And where, from your perspective, could you see the biggest gender gap?
Yes, first, hi everyone. It's a pleasure sharing with all of you the platform today. And yes, when you are saying, when I started as a player, I know how much difficulty we had to go through, you know, the parents have to be interested. Because of that, I could continue as a player and as a coach and as a official now. But now we can see there is a lot of difference because the government is taking interest and there are many NGOs, and even I can see in ITTF, they have made a great progress, you know, encouraging everyone, the ladies. And in every committee, now they have made a compulsory to take a women. You know, it's very good. And women are multitaskers, as I say. They have to look after the home. They have to do so many things. And now in India, I could see the change that before we never used to participate in international events for the league or for open tournament, you know. But now I can see the difference. The youngsters are going abroad and training. And that I can see a big change, and the confidence level they have gone. And now many women are taking coaching, you know, they are training the players. Before it was not so. In our time, we couldn't see. So the gap is nearing. The women are getting more encouraged by the government. There are many schemes which they have been, you know, doing for the women, for the development of for women program in India.
Thank you very much. You actually, I was going to add, so what has been the major changes for women in table tennis recently? And you actually partly answer for this question already. If you would like to add something else, please feel free.
Yes, because now in we can see that in major events, they have now equal distribution of prize money also, which was not so before. So that is a big change, you know, from every side. And in coaching also, they are taking camps and all, and they are encouraging. See, now when I was there, my parents were encouraging, but other sources, they were not encouraging that much. So, but now everybody, they are encouraging, and we are getting confident. Women are getting confident. The gap is nearing in all levels. In schools also, now they are giving more preference to the grassroots development for the girls, which were not taking part before. Small competitions are held in, you know, every places, which I can say in India because I have seen them. So the gap is nearing.
Thank you for the insights into this situation, especially in India.
Yes.
So I will pass a screen to my colleague now. Amar.
Kasia, actually my next question will be regarding match officials. So my next question will be for Alan. So Alan, can you please tell us what are the current action and future plans of the Umpires and Referees Committee to ensure more gender balanced match officiating?
Yeah, thanks, Omar, for the question, and happy International Women's Day to all our friends around the world. The URC at the moment is supporting the gender balance. The main way we are doing that is with our nomination procedure for our events, particularly the major ones, in that most countries and associations are allowed to nominate one umpire for each of the events from their region. But if that particular nomination is a female, they are allowed to nominate a second official. So that is being done to encourage associations to get more females involved in the sport and in officiating. And also, obviously that encourages them to put females' names up for nomination for the events. We're also encouraging that, like everybody else, for a 50-50 gender balance for the events. So when we are selecting the umpires for an event, we try as much as possible from the names that we do have nominated that there is a 50-50 ratio for males and females. And we find that's working to the extent that if we can cast our minds back to the last Olympic Games in Tokyo, the men's singles final at that particular event was an all-female officials for that event, and that's we hope to see more of that into the future, seeing the women in those particular events. The other main one is that our associations, they are being encouraged to offer facilities and in their scheduling to allow more women to participate in the events, particularly ones with young families. And in that, what I'm meaning, as an example, the upcoming WTT event in Austria, one of our deputy referees there is actually bringing her baby child to that particular event. And the organisation is making sure that there are the facilities there for the want of a better description, for babysitting, a larger room for accommodation, so that is easier for them to manage, and also allowing the schedule to actually cope with it, so as that somebody with a child in those sort of circumstances has the time to still be a mother. I guess that's probably the best way of describing it. So we actually think that as a committee that those sort of things are, we hope anyway, are working towards a better balance of gender. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alan, for your input and for the great initiative that has been that the URC is currently doing, and of course the future plan that that the URC are willing to do. So this is a great input from you. So thank you so much. I will direct my my next question to Mona Lisa for the round 2 of our discussion. So Mona Lisa, you are involved in the development and the promotion of table tennis in India, as you mentioned, including also in the setup of the very popular UTT League. How can this initiative encourage women's players and coaches? Okay, so we lost Mona Lisa.
Hello. Yeah,
they're muted. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to see, it's very interesting. UTT League is a unique one where the chairperson is a woman, Mrs. Vita Dani. She has taken a lot of interest in, promoting sports, not only in table tennis, but other also as football and all. She is a dynamic lady. So we are all proud today in International Women's Day. I want to mention her name because she's so much positive with energy and, encouraging everyone. So you feel great. And so I can say that UTT League, we have had for 3 years, but due to COVID, we couldn't have. And there we have tried to combine the men and women proportion together, 3 men and 3 women. And they play the same type. It's not that, men will play more in this thing. We try to combine, balance it very beautifully. And so it is great. Women also get the same weightage. So that is, and also the coaches are also encouraged, because in these 3 leagues, we have women coaches also. So that is very encouraging. And by seeing them, by seeing this league, people, the other women also getting encouraged. Yes, they can become a coach. And the players also getting inspired that they can also play more. You know, there is something, you know, professionalism which is coming in to the game, which is very important, which was not there before.
Definitely, it's very interesting to hear about the initiative and the UTT League. Actually, great work. So I want to congratulate you for such great effort and work in the UTT League. I will pass now to Kasia for the next question.
Thank you.
And
My
one
pleasure.
more thing, sorry, I want to add one more thing. This would not been possible without ITTF support, because you have supported and given the window of the dates, which is very, you know, appreciable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Appreciate. And I would like to pass next question to Zoran. So in order to get closer to achieve that gender balance, women can't be in it alone. I would say, I would quote our ITTF president, Ms. Petra, that only together we can make a difference. So as an Olympian, one of the best former players in the world, what do you think? How can men, athletes, break the bias and contribute to promote gender balance in table tennis?
Thank you for a good question. I mean, I think it's one of the most important things what International Olympic Committee is trying to send the message that they're encouraging the mixed doubles, the mixed teams, which is also one of the part which we should work on it, because I think joint mixed doubles to become the Olympic discipline, I think it's very good, and we are going toward that we include, and as you said, we should make it equal, the women competition and men competition. Often, you know, they said it's often like the male competition is like more attractive like this, but I don't think so, because often I enjoyed many times women competition much more than the men. And I think the initiative from International Olympic Committee to probably in the future will have mixed teams, not only mixed doubles, will bring the competition together with female and male. And I think this will increase the visibility of women table tennis in the future. And as I said, the Athletes Commission, also I forgot to tell you before that we have 2 para athletes, also 1 female, 1 male within our commission. And I think every commission should work in this direction. We should encourage the women to be more engaged in to be really like important stakeholders in any organization. And of course, I have to give a small quote regarding the EC of Executive Committee from the ITTF. We should also involve more women. We are so proud that we have a female president, but I would like to see more female representatives within the Executive Committee. I think this is the future task. We have to work on it. And one part of this also Athletes Commission gave, because from the next elections we'll have 1 female from the Athletes Commission within the EC body. And as I said, I'm always open to help as the Athletes Commission chair. For the moment, you can always count on me. I'll be always responsible and always be available for any other future actions. Thank you.
It's really appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. The next question I would like to address to Tina. Since in Tokyo 2020, we could witness a highest female participation in terms of Paralympians, with good percent of increase compared to the previous Olympic Games in Rio. What is in your opinion, what went well that this caused this increase?
It was and still is one of the goals of ITTF and Para-Table Tennis Committee to increase the number of the slots that female para players can get for the Paralympics. So we did it in Tokyo and we will do it in Paris too. We will increase the slots again. The ideal, of course, will be to have an equal number of male and female players. And we are working on it, and I'm sure that we are going to do it. So this is for me and another motivation for the federations in order to increase the number of the female players.
Thank you. We believe it's gonna happen really soon. So we keep fingers crossed and full support.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would pass now the screen to Omar.
Thanks, Kasia. I would like to direct my next question to Alan. For all the representatives of member associations that we have today in our panelists and in our guests, and also for all the participants today, we would like to know what is your advice to member associations regarding different approaches or initiatives in order to achieve gender balance in match officials representation. So also to educate and attract more female to be match officials. Sorry, Alan, you're muted.
Thanks, Omar. The main thing that we would advise member associations to actually do to help with female umpires is to actually support them, encourage them, nominate them for events, and keep that flow going. Let them see that there is a pathway for them. We think that's very important. To achieve that, there may be some financial support that a member association could be encouraged to give, particularly to younger female officials, in allowing them to do the basic training courses to start with, and then to actually get to events as well. And another one that we would encourage them to do is that when they are qualifying, and we are looking, and a member association is looking at the activities that a female official has been doing, is to perhaps allow them to do less events than their male counterpart, in that to qualify or to be recognised for a nomination for an international event, simply because they may not have the time because of family commitments and that type of thing to be on the road travelling to do as many events as perhaps what a male official can do. So if a member association could look at that, we would encourage that perhaps they can do 1 or 2 less events at home before they are recognised as being qualified or good enough to actually have their name put forward for an international event. And we think that would help the situation as well. But the most important one for an association is to actually support them, give them encouragement, and keep them motivated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alan, for all the tips and all all the initiatives and ideas you've mentioned. Of course, I'm sure that it will be of a great support to all member associations. Now we will move, of course, to our next part here, which is a question and answer part for our panelists. So I would encourage if anyone from the participants would like to ask our panelists any questions, please leave it in the Q&A section here. We received some questions from the participants, actually. So I would like to direct my first question to Zoran. So the question is from Magdalene from Botswana. So the question is, what causes women to retire early in table tennis? What are the reasons behind that?
I mean, good question, because I think Alan mentioned it before. The life of women is more complex than the life of men. And I mean, they have much more responsibility than we have. I mean, they have, unfortunately for them, they're more committed to the family, they are more committed to the children. And of course, it's hard to balance the private life, family life depends much more on them than, unfortunately, on the male. I hope this will change in the future. And that's the reason why the females, they cannot last that much. Otherwise, I mean, by constitution, by the talent, by everything, they could have an equal career as we do. But probably of this complicity of their life and more commitments to the family life, it's more harder for them. And I mean, I hope this will change in the future, because I think also the male should take also a big part of to being part of the family, to raise the children, which is probably maybe in some countries is not the standard way of living. And I think this is the main reason why they have a shorter career.
Thank you so much, Zoran, for your answer. So my next question is from Lokesh from India. I would direct this question to Tina. Tina, you're currently the chair for Para Table Tennis Commission. You're an advanced referee and also competition manager for Para Table Tennis. So a question from Lokesh is, what are the career options for women in table tennis? What are career paths that the women can take in table tennis?
It depends what they are going to choose. I don't know if it is for the players or for the coaches or for the officials. As you mentioned before, me as an official, for example, I started as an international umpire, international referee. I'm a referee advanced. I'm competition manager for para events. So as I'm here in Singapore, for example, I'm the referee in the WTT, the first Grand Smash. So we have a lot of potentials. We can do everything. Just believe yourself, and you can go as high as possible. We don't have any frontiers, I believe. Just believe yourself and go higher. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tina, for the great words. Definitely, it's very empowering. So thank you so much. I would pass the floor now to Kasia for the next question.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you, Tina, for motivational words. And I believe our dear panel here proves that there are a lot of actually options for women to pursue in sport, in table tennis. And my next question is to Mona Lisa. It comes from Karen. Since you have a great experience in coaching, she's asking how you deal with bias in coaching in schools and clubs.
What can you repeat the question, please? The bias, what means?
Yes, how the bias can be break in a coaching position in the schools and clubs.
This I want to say that coaching is very important part, as Tina had mentioned, that you have to choose. If you want to be a real sincere coach, then in the schools and all, you can always do the options. Now the schools are also encouraging, though we need to encourage more, because it is not sufficient. It is still less. We have to work more towards that. And our ladies coach has to approach, because what I see in I also had been coaching in a school, for some time, because they wanted me to give the service. But then you have to approach. The ladies, they have to, sometimes they are bound by their family problems. Then you don't approach it. If you want to be there, you can be there. It is not, there is no, I don't feel that there will be any bias if you propose it, because men go there everywhere they go, but ladies, they sometimes hesitant. After marriage, they are bound by the children, with the children, when they are small, there are many commitments which women have. But then if you want to be, I don't think you can approach and you can go to the school and colleges and all. I think it will definitely be there. I don't think there'll be any biasness. And now people, they support each other. Now the present scenario, what I can see is a big change. It's not that, men are dominating, they help each other. It is not for that, one has to be up or the other. It is going together, complementing each other. That is the important part.
That's right. That's right. And it's actually about our decisions, our willingness, and our aspirations, what we would like to do and achieve as a woman. Thank you. Thank you for that. And for the last question in this part, I will pass to my colleague Omar.
Much, Kasia. So our last question here in the Q&A answer, it's from Eliani from Brazil. So I would direct this question to Alan. So Alan, what is the average age and potential of blue badge women umpire?
Very good question. Very good question. Average age, and I haven't got statistics in front of me, so I'm only going to be guessing. But I would be saying the average age would be in their 50s. It should be lower. I think it would be marginally lower for males, but not for the females. But as again, I don't have any figures in front of me. And the second part of your question there for the progress of the female for blue badge umpiring, it's probably similar to what Tina answered just recently in relation to refereeing, is that there is no limitations. They are encouraged to, how can we say it, go for it. There's no restrictions on them. They do have meet the same qualifications. There's nothing different between male and female. The only reason that the ratio is probably less is that there is just not enough females at this particular point in time involved in that particular field. And that's what we need to do. If we can get these 50-50 gender balances in place and that type of thing, I'm sure that the number of blue badge female umpires and the average age of those umpires in the first case would be greater and the average age would be lower. I just think it is a matter of encouragement, support, and having the females to actually see that is a possibility for them and to go for it.
Thank you so much, Alan. And of course, we encourage each and every female match official to go for it and participate and, of course, take part on it. So thank you so much for your encouraging and empowering words. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all our panelists in the roundtable discussion. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you so much for your empowering words and for breaking the bias and, of course, for to reach and target the gender balance in table tennis. So thank you so much for taking part in our roundtable discussion.
Omar, can I add something in the end? I mean, there is really very good example. We didn't discuss about women coaches, and we have very good example. For example, in Slovenia, when the Andreja Ostešek, she is coach of Darko Jovic. Often there is like separate the female coach to female and male coach to male. But there are very, very great examples that the female can be coach of the men. Like this is the case in Slovenia, and also in my club when I'm coaching in Yekaterinburg. My colleague is also female and we are equal coaches in the team. And I think this is the future, that it's really acceptable that the female coach is also coach for the men team, not the other way around. And I think this is a great example how the women can be more established, and we should really break the bias which really are now in the world. Thank you very much.
Zoran, thank you so much for your words. Definitely, it's a great example. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. Again, thanks for all our panelists today. It was a great discussion. And now I would like to pass to Kasia for our part 2 of our webinar. Thank you.
Thank you to all. And yes, we entered into the second part of the webinar, where we will see the presentations of our 4 member associations projects towards women's table tennis development implemented in the framework of 2021 My Gender, My Strength program. And also one project will be presented, which was supported through the Dream Building Fund of ITTF Foundation. So before we start off, I would like to briefly describe you the ITTF My Gender, My Strength program. So the My Gender, My Strength is a member association assistance program for women development in table tennis, which aims to advance women's participation on and off the field of play. It has been launched in 2019, and it was a pilot project in Asia and Latin America. We've received a very positive feedback, learned great outcomes, and we learn also that impact that has been caused was also powerful. So it's not only to implement one standalone project, but it's about to make a positive difference through the project on the long run. Therefore, we have decided to expand the program's reach in 2021 to 4 continents and implemented under Africa, Americas, Asia, and Oceania development programs, increase the financial support, obviously support member associations with our guidance, and improve the project overall. So the applications, the project's national project has been submitted through the application process, and relevant criteria has been set to choose the projects across the continents. It was a 5 national projects per continent. And in terms of the results, we could see in 2021, we had 35 applications that arrived, and 19 applications had been selected. So today we have 4 member associations from 4 different continents with various projects. We will start maybe by alphabetical order of the continents. So first one will be Uganda Table Tennis Association project, which will be presented by Member Association President, Mr. Robert Yagwa. So I would like to kindly ask Mr. Robert to show, open his camera, open his also mic, and present for us the project.
Thank you very much, Katarzyna. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
We can see, yes.
Oh, okay, so I will dive straight into it. The My Gender, My Strength project in Uganda was conducted in November of 2021. And under the following, I was the project supervisor, and we had 6 coaches. Amongst these coaches, there was one called Edith, who is one of the people in this presentation. She's actually logged in, I've seen her. She was the project coordinator, and we thought it wise that it is a female project coordinator. So we had those 5 coaches: Irene, Flavia, Deborah, Nora, and Koboy Edward. Our main objectives, we picked 3 strong ones. We had so many, but these are the outstanding ones. One, of course, was to increase the number of female players playing the table tennis sport in Uganda. Then we also wanted to, use table tennis to promote better health, productivity, and physical fitness amongst our female players, but also to position table tennis in Uganda as a sport for the females, because in Uganda, we have many sports that are considered for the males, actually most of them, but apart from netball, there is no other sport that is mainly considered for the females. So we thought we could use this opportunity to position table tennis as a sport friendly to the females. Our implementation pathway was, number one, to agree on the rollout with the ITTF, to agree the whole program. Then number two, we get schools that agree to our program the way we want it to be done. So we designed MOUs, which we signed with the schools, and mainly we wanted them to agree to the key objectives of this project. Then we undertook in step 3, 5 weeks of training for girls, and we chose, the young girls, 12 years and below, because we wanted new players. So we thought we'd go for the young ones. Then after the 5 weeks of training, in the last stage, they went for the climax competition, the end of the program. We decided to rely on 8 main key success areas. Number one was to use MOUs with the participating schools to ensure fulfillment of our key objectives. Number two, we wanted to have a fairly sufficient training of the players before they go for the competition. Number three, we decided to use TTX, which is actually like table tennis for learners. It is faster to learn, and it is, you can have a meaningful competition other than the rubber table tennis, whereby you need more time to learn it. So we found TTX easier and faster to learn for this project. Then we also decided to enroll players who were studying in the selected schools, and also they resided near those selected participant schools, because then it would be easier for them to keep playing the sport even after the training has ended, because they stay near and they actually study in that very school. Then we engaged daily monitoring of the participant attendance, and also weekly monitoring of the development in the skills that were taught, like racket handling, like placement of the ball, services, service returns, etc. Then also we deployed UTTA tables. We designed the table here in Uganda, as you can see on the slide, that red and black table, that's a Ugandan made table. Even the rackets, the paddings were made in Uganda. So we designed these tables and we deployed them in those schools, so that we make sure that after the project, the students can actually continue to play the sport because the tables are there. We didn't want to lend them tables because the tables we have from ITTF are not for giving away for these young lads. So we made our own cheaper table and we gave it to them. And again, thanks to the ITTF, we were able to make a lot of them. And also thanks to the National Council of Sports here in Uganda, and thanks to another partnership with the Bank, we were able to make many more rackets because our numbers overwhelmed us. Then we also had a uniform curriculum in all the schools. We developed a curriculum with our coaches to make sure that all the learners were studying the same thing. Then we also created very attractive videos that the participant schools would use to also market themselves using table tennis. This is just one example of the monitoring tools that we used. We kept a very close eye on the development of the players' skills, like racket handling, accurate placement of the ball on the table, comfortable play of long and short balls, services and service returns, etc. Then we also kept a very close eye on the numbers because this was very key to us. We needed more girls. Our initial target was 50, but as you can see, we were overwhelmed by the response. We ended up having an average of 123 girls enrolling in the project. So we monitored the numbers at each of the 9 schools that we had. Each and every day, we kept a record of the numbers. This is the table that we used for that. Amongst the key outcomes from this project in Uganda, number one, we were able to get 9 new schools playing the table tennis sport, totally new. Number two, we were able to get 123 new female players of the sport. Then we had a very impressive and sustained publicity for the sport in the press, in the media. Then we had new table tennis tables that were left behind in the participating schools. And then this year, at our annual general meeting of UTTA, an only girls competition was approved on the Uganda Table Tennis Association calendar. So it will become annual. Every year we have a competition for only girls to promote the girls, because we are saying after the MGMS, this needs to continue. So that is our brief presentation. If you can also allow me to show you the summary video of what we did in the different 9 schools that we had. Thank you very much, Katazaina. That's all we had for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert, to you and also to your team who was putting every effort to deliver this program. We can see it has been in 9 schools. So it also required good, smooth team and communication between a team. So I believe your project is a good example to show how the My Gender, My Strength can be implemented. And all the best. Please keep your spirit and keep a hard work towards women's table tennis development in Uganda. We hope to see more and more action towards this area.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations once again. And I will pass to my colleague, Omar. He will also announce the second project.
Thank you, Kasia, and very well done, Uganda. Very good presentation, Robert. Thank you so much. So the next project is in the Americas continent. It's in Brazil. So I would like to invite Taisa Pelli, My Gender, My Strengths National Project Coordinator. Hi, Taisa.
Hi, Omar. I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's better. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Thaisa Belli, coordinator of My Gender, My Strength project in Brazil. And I would like to thank you, ITTF, for the invitation. And it's a great honor and happiness to be here today. And just a moment. Okay. Some problems with the pass the slides. Sorry. Okay. The main purpose of the presentation is to share our training camp, Mulheres TMB, or TMB Women's Training Camp, all in English. And the event was promoted under the umbrella of My Gender, My Strength, and as an initiative of University of Table Tennis and Coletivo PingPong by CPTM, and with a partnership with Associação Joinvilense de Tenisdemesa, Unisociesc, and Joinville City Hall. Let's start with the objectives with our training camp. That were increased female participation in Brazil table tennis, acting as player, coach, and match officials, ensure that girls and women have a training camp experience and a safe environment, and build rapport and network with the group of table tennis females. Moving on to the next slide, you can visualize the participants registration. That reached 127 participants, 87% women, from 16 states of Brazil. And the event brought together female players, coaches, match officials, administrators, managers, physical educators, teachers, and students, and was offered in the blended slide, online and on-site. And here we can see all the activities that comprise the event that occurred for 1 week at the end of last year, and a week before the main national competition, the TMB Platinum Brazilian Championship. Move on to the next slide. We can see training with the experts. The aim was to promote table tennis practice for girls and women of all levels of learning. And the responsible for this action were Lígia Silva as a head coach, Janaína Peters da Costa as a coach, and Laís Stolarski as a coaching assistant. And here you can see a picture of this action inside of our event. The competition included a quiz competition about the rules of table tennis to bring together online and on-site participants. And as you can see in this picture, we had as responsible 2 CBTM match officials, Flávia Villanova and Eliane Miyazaki. And here we can see the lecture, trajectory of Olympic and Paralympic athletes, that was given by Brazilian Olympic team athletes, Caroline Kumahara and Jessica Yamada, and Brazilian Paralympic female team, Bruna Alexandre, Jennifer Parinhos, Daniele Howen, and Katia Oliveira. And here we can see a picture of our Paralympic medalists during this action in the event. Move on to the next slide. We can see the workshop, Women's Participation in Sports, Safe Environment and Scientific Perspectives. And the responsible for the activity were Isabel Suan, coordinator of Women in Sports of Brazil Olympic Committee, Mariana Nonaka, Brazil Olympic Committee lawyer and former Olympic table tennis athlete, Julia Barreira, a researcher of University of Campinas, and Roberta Burzagli, a head coach of Brazilian Tennis Confederation. And here we can see a picture of Isabel Suan explained about IOC Gender Equality Project during this action in the event. And finally, the celebration, with the main goal was to share experience of the event and think about next steps together. And our picture during this moment of the event. It's important to point out that we have offered a set of actions to promote gender equality in our member association, as you can visualize in here. And post-event, Lígia Santos was hired in a permanent position as National Development Female Team Coach. And in our last development training camp, we had 4 female coaches composed the team for the first time. And now I'd like to share with you a video of our action.
Respeito.
Força.
Superação.
Alegria.
Luta.
Aprendizado.
Igualdade.
Poder.
Resistência.
Futuro.
Empatia.
Progresso.
Reflexão.
Coragem.
Significado.
Poderosa.
Uma boa campanha no início do ano chamada Mulheres que Inspiram, começou no Dia Internacional da Mulher e terminou no Dia Mundial do Tênis de Mesa. Então talvez ali a gente dê um pontapé inicial nessa ação, um evento grande, né? E esse foi um segundo grande momento nesse sentido, né? No objetivo aí de aumentar o número de meninas e mulheres no tênis de mesa. E também não só pensando numericamente, em termos de quantidade, né, já que a gente tem números desiguais, mas pensando também em trazer temas dentro desse training camp para melhorar a qualidade.
Porque você já nasceu com alguma deficiência física, né? A gente já sofre um monte de preconceito, tanto no trabalho, nas atividades do dia a dia. E quando eu tive a oportunidade de conhecer o esporte, eu fui abraçada pela CBTM. É tanto que faz pouco tempo, uns 15 anos, acho que tem a classe 11, né? Não tinha classe 11. Então, tipo assim, eu me senti abraçada. Então, eu tenho muito orgulho da atleta que eu me tornei.
Participando desse evento que nós tivemos aqui, que foi maravilhoso, foi divino, né? Principalmente ontem das palestras, você começa a ver uma luz lá no final do túnel, sabe? Porque quando você começa a perceber que nós podemos chegar lá, né? Que podemos ter os mesmos direitos dos homens, né? Aí a gente começa a perceber que realmente esse mundo tem solução.
Bom, além da campanha Mulheres que Inspiram e desse Training Camp especificamente, a gente vem tendo ações políticas aplicadas dentro da Universidade do Tênis de Mesa para aumentar o número de treinadoras dentro do nosso sistema, né, em termos de confederação e federações estaduais. Então a gente já observou ao longo desse ano que a gente saiu de um número de 10% de treinadoras certificadas, que era a nossa realidade no começo do ano, e com essas políticas de inclusão que a gente teve na Universidade do Tênis de Mesa, a gente chega aqui para patamares de 25%, beirando 30% de treinadoras. E a gente sabe, por estudos, que quanto mais treinadoras atuando, eu tenho mais chance de ter mais atletas, de aumentar o número de atletas também. Então é como se fosse um efeito em cascata, né? A gente mexe num ponto e a partir dali a gente vai tendo todo um aumento na sequência.
Thank you. I'd like to finish by thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Thais, and congratulations. Awesome work, to be honest, and very empowering. And so thank you so much for sharing your project with us. Next, I would like to talk about our third project here in Asia. So I would like to invite Fatima Kivani, Vice President for Iran Table Tennis Federation, to talk about the My Gender, My Strengths program in Iran. Welcome, Fatima.
Do you have my voice and my face and my picture?
Yes, we can see you, yes.
Okay, hello everybody and happy Women's Day for all. And kindly thank to Ms. Petra and Ms. Katasha for giving us this opportunity for sharing our experience together. As you know, after receiving the email from ITTF, we have started our project with this. Do you have a slide right now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Next page. Next slide, please. Yes. Another one, yes. We started We started the advanced management courses for all our participants in Iran from 2021 until 2022. And all of our participants were our vice president of our provinces. What did we do it for all of our managers and administrators? Because we want to increase the number of women chairmen in the provinces and cities and the women vice president of the regions of Iran in many different fields. Yes. Also, we want to empower of administrator and create opportunities for female candidates in a leadership position and equal achievement in management. And also having professional women resource and the monitoring program for our table tennis federation in Iran. Okay, we started from 30 of August 2021, and we are continuing this project for all our managers and vice president of Iran. I forgot that explain about our participants. There is 31 provinces in Iran, so our federation in our Ministry of Sport, every and per provinces has managers and vice presidents for women. So because of this and because of increasing and empowering their knowledge and their experience, we have decided to hold these courses for all our managers. And right now, we are continuing this project for all participants. Okay, we had 3 seminars and webinar for them about some courses about management fields, and the first courses on webinar, and that Miss Petra Sorling and Gabriella Muller were in our webinar for first time, and the second courses in person, and third course in person and webinar at all. Because of COVID-19, we couldn't continue in person all of our projects. Yes, you can see our content and our courses and subjects during this time. We prefer to have this project and these courses and field for our participants because they needed exactly about communication and negotiation skills, about sports psychology and stakeholder, sport law and advanced management, and all of them held in Iran. And right now we are continuing this project for our participants. Okay, it was very, very interesting for us that NOC and our sport ministry were in our webinar and seminar both too. And yes, sorry. In 2022, we will continue this advanced management course for 2 times during this year, and increasing the number of women in the international seat and gender balance, increasing the number of women chairwomen in the provinces and cities, and in improving the quality of leadership of women. Okay. We considered 2 times for our project. You can see in our tables, financial management, about financial management, the role in the media in tourism, elements of women achievement in leadership and self-esteem, and something like this that I will pass because of limitation of the time. So regarding women make up the half of a society, women are the first agent of the transmission of value, norms, cultures, customs, and traditions. Attention to women's management affect on culture of organization in sports organizations. And the realization of value and dynamic legal rules, and the participate of organization in valuing women's sports, such as the value of financial contract and other financial incentives. So women's management planning this is so important for us, affect the position and opportunities of men and women in all aspects of life, also affect on development of, of women's leadership and gender mainstreaming in monitoring models, striving for women's leadership and gender balance in regularity models, and promoting the role of women in decision-making in sport organization. Expected after the courses, all women as administrators and managers can participate in decision-making and policy with more confidence. So because finishing my presentation, I just want to mention that right now exactly there are many administrators and managers and stronger managers in Iran because of just this project. And exactly, they were very pleased of having this project, like My Gender, My Strength. And it was so beautiful and so interesting and so useful for us. Thank you again from ITTF and this project. Thank you for all for attention. Please let me have a video for participants of our presentation and our project. No, like this. Yes, yes, yes. 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 Yes, yes. Yes, thank you for your attention, and I'm here for, if you have a question, I can answer your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fatima, and congratulations. Of course, it's promoting women in leadership position is a very important topic. So thank you so much for sharing with us your project, and congratulations again. And now I would like to pass the floor to Kasia to introduce our next program.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Omar, and thank you to Thaisa and Fatima for your great effort to implement the My Gender, My Strength program and your national.
Sorry, Kasia, we cannot hear you.
By community manager in table tennis New Zealand, Jessica McKeel. I know it's really late in New Zealand. That's why we really appreciate you are joining us and willing to present the project. So I'm passing to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Kasia, and thank you to the ITTF for allowing me to join your webinar this evening to present on Table Tennis New Zealand's Women and Girls Forum and pilot project that was part of the My Gender, My Strength project. So firstly, I'd just like to give you a brief background on Table Tennis New Zealand's approach to working on increasing women and girls participation. So increasing female participation is one of the key focus areas of the National Federation's 2020 to 25 strategic plan. And the first step for them has been to gain better data and baselines to provide an understanding of the current engagement and participation of women and girls in table tennis. And their intention is that their data and insights can help them to develop participation opportunities, to improve systems and structures to support their regional associations to attract and retain girls. Obviously, their long-term vision is aligned with that of many other countries around the world and ITTF, in that they would like to increase the number of women and girls representing at all levels of the game. So not just players, but also coaches, officials, administrators, volunteers, and in governance. The first step that we are focusing on in New Zealand is on increasing the participation, because the current female participation of players is around 22%, and other areas of female participation is considerably lower. So this is one of the reasons it's quite a high strategic priority for Table Tennis New Zealand. So their project has 4 stages. So stage 1 is understanding the current situation and what the female participation looks like. The second stage is coming up with solutions and planning ideas for how we may address the problems. Number 3 is moving towards prototypes and programs that we can implement and test, as well as developing the resources that we need to aid in growing female participation. And of course, with any good program, we need stage 4, which is to continually monitor and evaluate what's happening, as well as taking the key learnings so that we can improve our programs moving forward. In 2021, as part of the My Gender, My Strength program, there was 2 main components. One was a leadership component, and the second was a participation program test pilot. So earlier in the year, in May 2021, New Zealand, for the first time, held a Women's Leaders Forum. The forum had 22 attendees, with female representation from 13 different associations or regions across our country, as well as board members and others who are key to inputting information. Those in attendance had varying roles and involvement in table tennis. So they had backgrounds such as players, coaches, administrators, and officials. The purpose of the forum was to gain insights on participation and hear their voices, as well as the opportunity to listen to presentations from Sport New Zealand about female participation and learn from other sport case studies. The main outcome, or one of the key outcomes that came from the Women's Forum that was held, was that we need to be better connected and continue to work in the space. So one of the things that has happened subsequently is that Table Tennis New Zealand now has a women's network that we connect with the leaders on a regular basis. Around every 8 weeks, we have online meetings and discuss what's happening across the country, share what's going well and ideas. And the second thing that was highlighted as an issue at the forum was that Table Tennis New Zealand currently does not have a base participation program for either gender, which is a problem, as many of the coaches and associations or school teachers without resources can't deliver a program to help grow the participation. That's where the second part of our My Gender, My Strength program came about. So following the forum, an entry-level youth participation program aimed at 7 to 11-year-olds was pilot tested in 3 different regions of New Zealand. The girls pilot program utilized existing resources and a program base that's currently implemented in other countries that Table Tennis New Zealand had access to under an agreement with that country. The purpose of our pilot program was to assess the suitability of the program's content in terms of delivery and engagement for both the coaches and participants in New Zealand, with the intention of in the long term, working towards having a program that can grow participation, not just of the girls, but both boys and girls, but primarily with an option to have a girls only participation program. The program involved 8 one-hour sessions and was delivered in clubs or schools. Because it's a pilot, we focused on low participation, but ensuring we could get good feedback to guide future steps of our plan. So we delivered the program in 2 clubs and 1 school. The 2 pilots that were delivered in the club setting were intentionally delivered to all female participation. So all of the players were girls and the coaches that were used were girls as well. Whereas in the school setting, it was a bit of a mixed gender because that's the way that the classes are. And the idea behind the pilot test was to long-term, hopefully find a solution to help address the problem whereby New Zealand doesn't have a participation program that can widely be rolled out across the country. And 2, it's to assist in addressing the disparity between the number of male and female players. Some of our key outcomes achieved were that in the 8-week program delivered, we were able to help with skill development for 6 coaches, 5 of which were female. And those coaches were spread across 3 regions in the country. There were 66 players engaged in the pilot, 48 of which were female. And one of the key impacts that we noted is that with the delivery, we were able to target a new skill to be introduced to table tennis, and an unexpected outcome was that the community around them bought into the program and the community supported purchasing outdoor table. So the school and the participants can continue well beyond this program. Post the program, the coaches provided a lot of feedback, as did the players, so that we can improve this program moving forward. And the other thing that was key was that the female coaches involved shared their experiences and their learnings with our New Zealand Female Leaders Network. So we had another meeting online where they shared their experiences and learnings with other coaches around the country. So yeah, that's about all. But before I finish, I'll just like to show a short video of the pilot program for you. So. Can you hear that? No? I don't know how to show you. I don't know how to share the sound.
If you're plugging like an earphones or something, you can just unplug it and play the videos. We will hear it from our side.
Is there earphones? I'm not sure. I think I'll just play it, but I don't think we have sound. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. No, unfortunately, we had some technical issues, so really sorry for that. But I believe we can see a great spirit and what has been done, what was the impact and outcomes of the program, and appreciate your joining. Thank you for that. I would like to just remind that to all our attendees, you have still an opportunity to leave questions to presenters of the national project. So if you are interested to ask them anything about that, please don't hesitate. We are actually heading to the end, but before that, we have one more project that has been implemented, has been supported through the Dream Building Fund program of ITTF Foundation. So without further ado, I would like to pass the screen to Julia Tappendorf, who is ITTF Foundation Programs Coordinator. So welcome, Julia, and please, we would like to ask you for some explanation, description of a program.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you see my screen? Okay. No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry. Well, anyways, first of all, I'd like to start just saying a few words about the ITTF Foundation. I mean, you probably know that the foundation is sorry, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think now it's sharing. Yeah, so the ITTF Foundation is a worldwide sport for development organization using table tennis to empower communities in order to enhance health, inclusion, and socioeconomic development of people around the world in alignment with targeted United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and development priorities across our ITTF member associations. Especially through our Dream Building program, we do this through capacity building projects at the grassroots and forming strategic partnerships to increase the use of table tennis and, of course, to break the bias. The Dream Building Fund, which is under the roof of our Dream Building program, is a biannual call for projects aiming to support initiatives that solve problems within their communities. And together with our partner, the Foundation of Global Sports Development, briefly GSD, we provide financial and knowledge support to change makers that wish to use table tennis as a tool to improve an aspect of human welfare in their local reality. And the expected impact results for the people involved within these projects are therefore not based on table tennis performance, but rather its contribution towards at least one of the 17 UN SDGs. So table tennis for development, not table tennis development. And from in here, you can actually see our currently running Dream Building Fund projects, including also the one project, Community Table Tennis, which is led by Pro Sport Development, which is focusing on gender equality, and you will hear his project leader after me speaking. And from the last call, we have actually selected 6 projects now from Indonesia, India, Iran, Kenya, Nepal, and Uganda. And you can see in the top 4 SDGs from all the applications, we also had the goal gender equality, one of the top ones. Already can tell the next call will be in 2023. So including the new projects, we currently have 3 with the main focus on gender equality, but I can also say that most of our projects have a gender component. So for example, they're supporting girls to also receive quality education like the boys, equal to the boys, so which is actually SDG 4, but with the focus on SDG 5. So last but not least, let me encourage everyone to break the bias, and especially to people who are facing barriers through their sexual orientation or gender identity or expression. Keep dreaming big, and remember, together we are stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for a brief presentation of the program. And I would like to invite now on the screen Suhail Tandon. He is a director, founder of Pro Sport Development, and he's a project leader for the community table tennis program in India, which is supported by the Dream Building Fund of the ITTF Foundation.
Thank you, Katrina. And thank you for having me today and being able to present our project. So I'm going to get right to it, as we're already running a bit late, and I'll try to keep it short. So basically, as you know, our project is called the Community Table Tennis Program, supported by the ITTF Foundation, part of the Dream Building Fund. Just to provide you an overview, the Community Table Tennis Program empowers adolescent girls and boys to become gender sensitive, but also to confront harmful gender-based stereotypes in their own lives, communities, families, and in their own peer circles. And that's the second point there. Basically, the program also wants to impact the gender perceptions of family members, peers, school teachers, community members. And all this is done through table tennis, utilizing a structured and goal-oriented curriculum. And a key aspect of the curriculum is that all activities are delivered in mixed gender groups, which means that boys and girls play together, learn together, they also compete together. Some of the key stats up until now, the program is reaching out to 252 adolescents, 46% being girls. We have partnered with 4 schools, all being slum-based community schools. Until end of February, we've had 115 sessions, 80 on ground, 35 virtual, mostly due to COVID restrictions. So where is this project based? It's based in India. It's based in a state called Odisha, which is on the eastern coast, as you can see. The project is delivered in slum-based communities in the city of Bhubaneswar, which is the capital of the state of Odisha. So why are we delivering this community table tennis project? Odisha is one of the poorest states in India. About 1/3 of the population still lives in poverty. 36% of the city of Bhubaneswar's population lives in various slum pockets. In India, 1 out of 3 women aged 14 to 49 faces some form of physical or sexual violence during their lifetime. This gender disparity, which is also present in Bhubaneswar and its some slum communities, therefore manifests into various public health and well-being, as well as safety concerns for women and girls. Finally, young people and adolescents from marginalized communities, such as those from the slums of Bhubaneswar, are lacking in their socio-emotional development due to inadequate educational opportunities, as well as a lack of other exposure opportunities for exposure. And this is why the community table tennis program has been envisioned and is currently being delivered to focus on some of these aspects. The intended impact of the community table tennis program is two-pronged on an individual as well as a community level. So we want young girls and boys who are empowered to recognize and confront harmful gender-based discrimination within their communities. And we also want to change the mindsets, rigid mindsets of their parents, sibling, teachers, peers, and community members. And we want these young adolescents to lead this change in mindsets. And as you can see, our project focuses on SDG 5, which is gender equality, specifically focusing on targets 5.1 and 5.5. But I don't think the project is only limited to this sustainable development goals, and also has sort of aligns with many other goals as well. In terms of the intended outcomes of the program, we've divided them into various sections. So in terms of skills and knowledge, we want these young people to develop a gender sensitive leadership, develop soft skills such as working together, communicating well, etc. We want them to value table tennis as a tool to improve their health and well-being. And this is not just for the young people, but also for the wider community, to change their mindsets of not just table tennis, but sport as a tool for improving young people's lives. In terms of these adolescents that we work with, we want to change their attitude towards harmful gender-based stereotypes. And also we want to create a safe environment where young people of all genders are comfortable in interacting with each other, which doesn't usually happen in many settings in India and across the world. And finally, in terms of a long-term outcome, we want young people to be able to be aspirational, articulate their life choices, and make decisions that are independent and that concern their own lives in order to have more meaningful lives in the future. What has been the progress? So we've developed a table tennis based curriculum that focuses on not just table tennis skills, but also various soft skills and building gender sensitivity in young people. As mentioned before, we have collaborated with 4 community-based schools and many other local stakeholders to support the project's implementation. A team has been assembled and they continue to undergo capacity building and training to be able to deliver the project effectively. The program is ongoing with 252 children who have also received sports kits, table tennis rackets, balls, and table tennis infrastructure has been installed in the 4 community schools so that the program can remain sustainable in the future. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we've had many disruptions and delays, and some events that we have had to be postponed. But the first event we're looking forward to is the World Table Tennis Day. One of our youth leaders, whom we've been working with for the last 3-4 years, Khadija, will be leading this initiative and reaching out to new populations, new young people, to promote table tennis as a tool for development. Just some photos for you to look at, and then I have a short video from one of the participants. I'll just play that now. So thank you very much. I won't take any more of your time, but in case you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suhail. Great presentation, great efforts. So we appreciate it, and we wish you good luck with the rest of the program's implementation. Thank you to you and Julia. Thank you for everyone who is still staying with us. I can assure you that it's just a few minutes left. So thank you for staying. We appreciate also a few questions that we have just received. 1 or 2, I believe, has been already answered, but I will pass to Omar for what has been there to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Kasia. I saw there was a question from Lokesh. I would like to direct this question to Taisa. So Taisa, what are the challenges? If you faced any challenges during implementation of My Gender, My Strength, so can you share with us what are those challenges that you face and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I believe a big challenge for us was offer the event in a blended, combined on-site and online. For our coaches, it's a different situation, and we need to overcome this challenge during the implementation, and we will plan to offer some training for our coaches to deal with this blended model if we applying this type of training camp again.
Thank you so much, Taisa, for for answering the question. Now, I would like to give the floor to our ITTF High Performance and Development Director, Polona, for the closing words of the webinar. So thank you so much, and to Polona.
Thank you, Omar. Dear Ms. President, dear Commissioner, dear guests, ladies, and especially gentlemen, I'm really delighted and also honored to have the privilege to say a few closing words of the wonderful, I would say super informative and also inspiring and motivating webinar held at the occasion of the International Women's Day. At the ITTF, actually now within the ITTF group, we commemorate this unique day every year in different ways, of course. But this year is indeed special. It's the very first time in our history that we have a female president, as it has been already underlined several times. Thank you, Petra, for taking the time and joining us today. We are very proud of you and your achievement, which I also strongly believe serves as the best possible example that changes can happen. Actually, that they already started occurring, that we, women and men, are all equal, therefore having the same rights, opportunities, and possibilities shouldn't even be debated. It just needs to be implemented systematically, thoroughly, and throughout. Simple as that. And sometimes I almost feel, and I'm saying that I'm almost feeling it, that gender that needs to be empowered more in this aspect are our male peers. As we, girls and women, know very well how important it is to have balance everywhere. It's been mentioned several times today also, how successfully we jump and balance one role with another every single day. However, we know that unfortunately not everything is so bright nor easy out there, that gender-related stereotypes and biases still exist, but if working collectively, we can definitely break them and this way contribute toward the more balanced table tennis community and hence the society overall. This applies to players, coaches, match officials, active or wanting to be engaged in able-bodied and in para-table tennis, which was also the message that crystallized during the roundtable in the first part of the webinar. Thank you very much, dear panelists, for sharing your precious experience with us. Besides, baby steps do matter, and the early ones are usually the hardest, as often breaking one of the biases, let's say. Why? It has never been done before. How many times have we all heard it, right? Changes can and must happen at all levels and everywhere, literally, with the successful projects from Uganda, Brazil, Iran, New Zealand, and India presented today prove very much. Big time, actually. Dear project managers, congratulations for what you have put in place and good luck for the future too, as the journey, as our president referred to it, will surely continue. Thanks again to everyone. It was pure joy having you with us today. Thank you also to the HPD team, especially Kasia, Omar, and Dora for making it happen. Hope to see you soon again online or more realistically now also on site. But in the meantime, let's try to break the biases every single day, not only on or around the 8th of March, and then just get together on this day next year again in a pleasant format and celebrate the new milestones that will become reality by that time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Polona. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for all the attendees today. Thank you so much for your presentation and for your input, for empowering everyone and for breaking the bias, and of course for reaching or talking more about the gender balance and empowering for more female in table tennis. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for everyone involved in the webinar. It was a pleasure speaking with you. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. We were really honored to have you all with us. And I think this webinar also has been a great platform that we have exchanged good practices, opinions, feedbacks. I believe also a lot of key takeaways are from this webinar, today's webinar. And so thank you also very much from my end to all involved, to our team, to our ITTF President, ITTF Gender Commissioner, our dear panel who has been involved, and to our ITTF High Performance and Development Director, Polona. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bye. Take care. See you soon.